hesitate. But, okay, here we are, coming up right now, coming from Texas, Steve Mayeda, El Topo, 3 years he's spoken here. This is his third year. And he's always got, exactly, yeah, he's got quite a following.
Thanks, guys. I'll pay you afterwards.
Very good.
And hand job.
Doesn't need, yeah, exactly.
Dental's a little bit fucked up this year, but, you know.
Doesn't need much of an introduction, but give it up for him. He's going to speak for an hour, and it's always great. So here, Steve El Topo.
Yes. Hey, thank you. Peter, I want this to be as interactive as possible because nobody ever, people aren't interacting enough. And I wish they would, so let's keep that mic somewhere where we can put it, and if somebody can help pass it around, maybe that's you, but usually standing back and all that stuff. So look, there's a lot of stuff. First off, we're at the 21 convention. I love this convention. It's organic, it's an experience, it's all this stuff where we can exchange ideas, and it's a community, and man, it gets better and better every year, whereas we have speakers on health, nutrition, business stuff, and of course, women, and everybody has all this amazing women advice. Unfortunately, you would think in 3 years I'd get more time, but I get less time this year. I only get an hour. So, check this out. All right, you're cutting into my time, Dream. Okay, so check this out. First off, you can find my stuff at this amazing site, which every marketer will tell you is a horrible, website. And there's a dot and there's a com. Look, that's it. You can find all about me, and I would definitely say go there, get on the email list, all that fun stuff. And because the majority of all the stuff, the experience of working with me is not going to be this hour here or whatever you're seeing online and all that fun stuff. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about a few things. I gave a layer talk last night, and I was like, I didn't know how to start off the layer talk because coming here, I was talking to a lot of my friends in Austin. There's a lot of guys in the community, and the community is just so saturated and can get so kind of fucked up at times that's what I wanted to talk about. So first off, how many guys are brand new to this? Brand new in the sense of, we got 2? Under 6 months? Oh, we got a few more. Greg, yep, you. No, so under 6 months, cool. And then how many guys have been in it for a year? How many guys have been in it more than that? God damn! All right, so most of the people have actually been in this for more than a year, which is pretty cool, but we see the pickup community, oh man, I need a napkin or something. Or my shirt, huh? You guys want to see me? Whatever. Tough crowd. We'll use the hands, right? Peter Murphy, that's a cue for you to get, right? Oh, shit. All right. Have Steve look stupid on stage.com. There you go. Okay, but see, so what I want to do is I want to talk about what defines the have Steve look really stupid. The PUA and / seduction community. All right, so what are some of the things that might define this? And I'll help you start off. What would make a pickup guy good? You, California. Oh, wait, I guess you first. Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it? And what did you have to say? Results. Oh, good. Fake it till you make it. See, I'm writing kind of text language. What else do we got?
Take a risk.
Balls.
Risk. Balls.
Integrity.
All right. Nobody else. What are some techniques that go into, let's look at this, because part of my problem with the pickup community is that it has no definition to it, and yet it has now become defined by the marketing. You guys have been in this thing for over 2 years. You guys know about the emails and you're gonna fuck 10s in one night or whatever. So stuff like that. What is it like? We'll say dominance. Touching. Jesus. Touching. Kino, routines, escalating. We'll put dancing. Was that you, Greg? I got some great video of this guy. I want to see that in the bathroom later, all right? Wait, we'll say dancing, huh? That wasn't really my angle here, but nonetheless. Okay, so look, all of this, and this is for like pickup artist stuff. It's like how to be cool, you know? How to better yourself, you know, improve. All that fun stuff. And sadly, a lot of it is about the quick fix, right? And then when we get into the seduction industry, when we're learning about sex, when we're learning about how to be better with women and all that sort of stuff, we're going to learn about like orgasms, and we're going to learn about like quick sex, and we're going to like, when I first came to the community, when I spoke here, well, it was a little bit after that, but when I spoke here probably like in 2008, it was like, man, the opener was still kind of like, jealous girlfriend was getting a little bit saturated. And now the opener is like, man, you're adorable, I just had to come talk to you, which is getting a little bit saturated. Yet nobody really does the stuff after that, which is important. But when I first came here to be a pickup artist, when I first came to the community to be a pickup artist, I had to actually, you know, what was it? Like, you know, go on a day 2 and fuck a chick. If I did that, that means I was a pua. And then it became like, you know, and then I was in Dallas, right? And so in Dallas, we came up with the term SNL because it didn't exist. In 2007, an SNL did not exist until CJ coined it because it was called a fool's mate, and then it was the same night late. And then you had to get sex like within 4 hours, and then you had to get sex within 20 minutes, and then you had to get sex like, if you're not a fucking pickup artist, if you are, did you fuck the chick in the bathroom of the club? Man, fuck you, dude. You got no, like, you went on what, 3 dates with her? And you didn't fucking dominate her pussy? Man, Jesus. All right, I took her to fucking Mecca when they're walking around the thing, and then I fucking sodomized her and said, that's a fucking pickup artist. And she said, I worship your dick. I worship, and she got all into it. And that's what game is, guys. You want that? I'll give you the techniques. And that's the problem. It's because this, all that we define ourselves by, it has no definition. Everybody sits there and says, you want to be a better man. Everybody says you want to be somebody that can live a life which is full and that can be complete. You know, when you signed up for those email lists and you're typing on it and whatever it was, with me it was like Thundercat and David D'Angelo and, you know, Swing Cat and those fools. You know, and I'm writing on there and they're like, man, you could get any woman. I wanted that power. But really what was happening was like, dude, I was lonely. I wanted to connect with a woman. I wanted all those things, and somehow, because also I'm pretty fucking crazy, right? You know, my end goal got distorted by all this interference, right? And here, check this out. All these things are actually good things, but defined or not defined, they're going to rely purely on the action, all right? And so let's take a look, just really quickly, if we're, if we are looking at the actions of what a PUA does, a seducer, somebody you know, who's good with women. So those actions would be what? You know, they're going to be people, let's do some techniques. You know, we'll say some negs. That's great. You know, negs can be great. We'll say, you know, qualifiers. What else we got? FTC, baby. That's not the Federal Trade Commission. That's false time constraint. All right, what else? Touching? Cold reads. Cold reads. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I haven't heard that one in a long time. But that's a good one. That's a good one. I'll put touching there. Future event projections. All right, FEP. Don't mistake that with EFT, guys, all right? What else do we got? What else we got? There's yeah, you laugh, Orleans. All right, tap that out in the bathroom, you and me later, with Greg. All right, so, because that's the best place to tap anything. Like, all right, so what else? Good with women, seduction, seducer, PUAs. What are some of the actions? Come on, there's more of them. There's owning the club. You know, I hear guys say all the time, like the key to attraction, you know, what women are going to find attraction is if you walk in the club and everybody fucking knows you, man. Let me tell you something. I fucking drove out here. My car's like popping out of gear and all this crazy stuff. There's nothing special about my shit, right? But at the same time, the reason why I wear all these like on the mat shirts is because my friends run this company. You want to cut the line at like the best clubs in the world, all I have to do is call them, and they will have me cut the line with 16 guys or whatever. And it happens many times, happens in Vegas, all that fun stuff. But that don't mean shit. That doesn't mean anything because look, when I do that, I am defining myself by my actions. Yeah, some chicks give me attention, but they don't fucking like me. So check this out. The pickup community, the seduction community, now, and what I mean by that is like, all those guys selling you sex and all those guys selling you techniques, all this stuff, it is defined by its marketing. It's defined by its actions. And when we have a solid definition, which we forget many times, is to maybe be better with women, maybe connect with people, maybe actually to experience with people. Ooh, wait, all right, one more. Framing. When I gave layer talks around the country quite a bit, which I should probably do more of, framing was what everybody wanted to know about. And let's do sexual framing, right? Sexual framing. All right, so when we define ourselves purely by those actions, we're left to be defined by this. And how many guys out there, we went out there last night, we're all bragging about it, or whoever's bragging about it and all that shit, and probably nobody got laid, and who gives a fuck. But the thing is what you hear everybody talking about, it was like, oh man, I dominated that chick, I dominated that set, da-da-da-da-da, and it's not the experience. Oh my God, man, I had frame control, I was frame controlling the woman. You know what frame control means? And that's great. I think frame control is a great tool, but when that becomes my God or that becomes my definition, what is it? It means I'm fucking afraid to experience with somebody, right? And what this was all about, and what this really should be all about, hopefully should be all about, is experiencing with somebody and maybe having a sexual connection in those things and building that sexual confidence and having and being proud to be you. If you live by this, what's the outcome, man? If you live by, what are the true roads? And it's not anybody's fault who's teaching this stuff. It's the mechanism that we put it in. We put it in the level of, routines. Hey, here's a customized map. Here's well, nobody's offering a customized map, but here's a structured map for you to do these things. If you master this technique, if you master touching, if you master escalation, you will be good with women. And that's not true, man. That puts you in a template of evolving towards something where you cannot be proud of yourself. And when you're not proud of yourself and you don't get results because the mechanism doesn't work, you think there's something wrong with you, and that leads to shame. And how many people out here, like, have seen somebody get all pissed off and become a hater of the community? Man, that shit happens. I mean, that should be everybody. I mean, I was talking to, who was it the other day? And they were talking about PUA hate, which you can find all sorts of great stuff about me on there, right? But, and I encourage you, add some more. Because I have a life, hopefully. But the thing is that site, it's like, how did that start? How did that start? Because these guys were sold a fucking false expectation of what they could. Dude, come on. Now, I'm being amogged by this guy. What the fuck, man? I want my money back. No, but they're being sold a false expectation on, what they can get. You're going to get tens. You're going to own the club. You're going to finally be able to be cool. You're going to finally be able to fuck a chick, and she can have other boyfriends, but she's going to be thinking about you while their dick's in her and all that stuff. And you know what? That stuff's like, great and all, but without connection, that becomes something completely alien, right? And what we need to be defined by, or hopefully be defined by, is this fun stuff. If we can be sexual, and if we can connect. And if we look through a filter of these things, when we start listing out those topics of, let's say, teasing, negging, qualifying, and you guys can fill them in, framing, all that stuff. It stops being such, look at that, man, it's fucking slick, dude. It stops being such a manipulative thing, and it stops being something where we can actually, it's not about value, it's not about the economics of it, it's not about selling somebody short. You having a hard time seeing over there? and what needs to happen is this needs to come from who you are, right? And there needs to be a sense of pride in it. So what I want to do in doing all of this, I want you guys to have an interactive experience, because everybody always loves when I start pulling routines and customizing stuff out of my ass and all that fun stuff. And what I want to do is actually talk to you guys about shit that you may think might be wrong with you, might be good about you, might be something that you're afraid to bring up, something that you're curious to bring up, with women and those sorts of things. I want to actually talk about that stuff and workshop with you guys via the microphone. So, first what we're going to do before I show you this immaculately amazing method and process, I want you to start saying, we'll go with some good qualities, good things, we'll go with some bad things, things you're afraid of, and things that we'll say, curious. All right, so what I mean by this, some of you guys came to the layer talk, what I mean is good things about yourself. Then what I want is things that you might think are bad or things you're ashamed of or those types of things that you might think are DLVs, low value, right? And then I want you to also give me some things that you might be afraid of, you might be curious about, and you will see them put through the Steve El Topo Mixmaster and fire out gold to you, right? If only there was like a porn trick that I could do that was that good, but whatever. All right, so let's check this out. Peter's walking around with a microphone, and everybody pass it around like it's some sort of party favor at a bachelor party. And you guys are like such a tough crowd. Always with the 21 convention. I know. Fuck, Jesus Christ. Fucking splashes as it hits the ground. All right. So who here wants to start off on this? Who? Good qualities, bad qualities? Nobody. X. It's X.
I'll go with a bad. Sometimes I get in my head, I get really quiet, and I just
Okay, so we can
focus on my
say
own
quiet,
thoughts. Yeah,
quiet, and I'll even say introverted.
sure.
Well, whatever. Introverted. That will stand for introverted. Then, Mr. Venn. Oh, I thought you. Jeez, man. God. All right, go ahead.
Bad is comparing myself to others and to their results.
We'll just say comparing, because I ran out of room. All right, what else do we got? And they can be anything. You can do good things too. Mr. Tallahassee, what's up?
I can be very overconfident at times.
All right. And I'm going to put that in both. So we'll say confident, and then we'll say overconfident. Okay?
Good. Well endowed.
Well endowed, all right? We'll say afraid. That'll put fear. I'm afraid of that for the tapping experience we're having later. All right, so nobody's got anything. So but I'll keep firing them out because I want you guys to be interactive. Some good things might be like being social, right? That might be being sexual. What are some other good things? Come on. Party people. Kind?
Having fun.
Fun. All right. Help me fill in this bad thing. Lack of experience.
Apathetic toward others.
Empathetic? Apathetic. Creepy. Here we go. All right, I ran out of room. So let's go with curious. Curious about women. What are we curious towards women? Probably everybody was saying last night, what do women really sexually think? So sexual perspective. Woo. You guys got it all figured out. What's that?
Yeah, no. How women view men.
How old?
How women view men.
Okay. All right. How women view men? How to make squirt. Come on,
My girls
guys,
give
come on.
mixed signals.
Mixed signals. That's a good one.
Why buying temperature is so fickle?
I had no idea what.
Why buying temperature is so fickle?
What the fuck did he just say? All I hear with Greg, all I hear is raspiness, and I know it's going to be something like, haha, this is going to be funny. All right, nobody on this side. This side's like a limp dick showing up to the fuck fest. You're the guy on the college fuck fest video that's standing off in the background going like, yeah, I'll drink the beer. It's a good sight, good sight. Alex.
What they're passionate about, like their
Okay.
interests.
Cool. And then let's go into things we're afraid of. We're all afraid of Greg's cock, but, oh wait, what do you got?
No, afraid of failure, afraid
Yes.
of embarrassment.
I'm like afraid of failure. I'm not sure if I can take all of that dick. All right? But I'll digest that shit. All right.
Social reputation.
Yes, yes. Okay. We got to have more. You, sir.
Working really hard, not going anywhere with it.
Working really hard. So hard work without result.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Not being happy.
Not be, oh, yes. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. Now check this out. We have all these qualities, and maybe we should, here, this technology here we have with multicolored markers so we can actually see, you know, the little topics and all that shit. We have the blue marker. So these are like 4 things that we could talk about. All of these things have to do with us. Now, when we look at this, when we look at confidence, being social, being sexual, being kind, being fun, being quiet and introverted, comparing yourself to others, being overly confident, lack of experience, being awkward, being apathetic, being creepy, being curious about somebody's sexual perspectives, how women view men, how to make a woman squirt, mixed signals, you know, passions, well endowed, failure, social reputation, hard work, all that stuff, not being happy. Look at this. It's going in blue because it's so important. I forgot to write it, right? But not being happy, all those things, right? Those are all parts of us. Now, how many people think that you could actually be socially attractive and sexually attractive by being able to show those things within like the first 5 minutes of talking to somebody? Yes, yes. I haven't heard from you, sir. Peter Murphy, run. So what's, how would you see it?
What's the question again?
Well,
Jesus Christ, man.
You
We
said
are
how-
the
you
Olympics.
said how many of you
no, what
can-
I'm saying is, how many of you guys think that you could have this, show this to a woman in the first 5
Be
minutes?
socially and sexually confident in the first 5 minutes?
Yes, no, to be socially and sexually confident while showing these things.
While showing what? Everything?
One of them. One from each.
I don't know why I got the mic. I don't even know what the question is right now.
That's all right. Maybe I'm not clear enough. But check this out. My whole point is that we can, right? And how we do that is kind of opposite from what everybody was always telling us. What everybody was always telling us, it's like, hey, look, you know, follow my routines, be me. You know, your life kind of sucks and doesn't have these results, so do what I do. Or be a natural, which being a natural these days is some sort of like, you know, fucking masturbation frenzy, circle jerk, whatever, and like to dominate that woman. That woman's with a guy. That woman's with a guy. Go and put your arm around her and take her away from the guy. Man, that's what a natural does. It's like, what the fuck, man. I know plenty of guys that are good with women, but it has like nothing to do with any of that shit. You know, and that's the problem, man. The pickup industry, following all this other stuff, is telling you to ignore this, telling you to ignore what truly interests you, and actually telling you to follow something else. And when you follow something else, you are defined by those actions. And then you stop wanting to appreciate women. You stop wanting to, you know, connect with a woman. You stop wanting to be sexual with a woman. Like, look, I love Dan Rose. I love the sex god method and all that stuff. The other day, he's sitting here telling, this is a funny story, and Jeff was telling me to bring these up, but this is one of them, is that a couple days before I came here, I was with this chick, and I hooked up with her. I hooked up with her once before. She has all these issues and all this stuff, and I'm not saying, and by all means, I'm no stallion, but I was with that chick. I slept with her for 2 hours, right? And she did not have an orgasm. And I will tell you this, I'd say I'm no Greg, I'm no libido there, but I'm pretty good at making that shit happen. And the thing is, if I were a pickup artist, right? If I were putting myself through that filter of being a PUA, what would that mean? That would mean I failed. That would mean I failed because what? I didn't make her come because I didn't dominate her or whatever. You know what, I will tell you this, leaving that experience, when I hit the road, she felt like a woman, she felt sexual, she felt comfortable. And you know what, she has some issues, and if I can give her that gift, that's great. But why the fuck would I define myself by that bullshit? Why would I put the value, if you're putting yourself with the value of like a girl who you can make come in 10 seconds or whatever, or a girl you have sex with for 2 months in order to do that, who the fuck cares, man? Because that value is the experience. And what we're told, and again, it's not what he's telling you is a bad thing. It's the method of which people are telling you things within this community because it's to market you, it's to sell you, it's to get you to buy into whatever beliefs that it's going to change your life. Man, what changes your life is being human, being able to experience and being able to connect with people, being able to have a human conversation with somebody. That's what we're doing it all for, and we forget, right? All right, so back to all this stuff after that tirade. I'll get to the bathroom one in a second. But so the good things we can obviously show. So give me a raise of somebody's hands. Who wants a routine made for him? This guy, Mr. California. Sorry, Peter, sorry. But in any case, what we're going to do, and I'll give you the little technique and all that fun stuff for this afterwards, and there's a whole bunch. But where is it that you like to, what do you want? Do you want an opener? Do you want something you can bring up? Do you want something?
I would say probably a comfort, probably like in a mid game.
Okay, so mid game. All right, cool. As you guys may or may not know, I've had this thing called the Red Stack forever, and it's like kind of the only customized thing out there, and I don't know why. All right, so which of these things, of these categories, do you relate with the most, or would you want to know mid game about?
I would say, so pick one from each, you're saying?
Sure.
Okay, so for good, I would say social.
Social?
And bad, I would probably say awkward.
All right.
For afraid, probably social reputation and failure.
Okay.
And for curious, what were those again?
Sexual perspective, how women view men, how to make a woman squirt, mixed signals, and passion.
Probably how women view men.
How women view men.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we got is we got this one, we got this one, we got this one, and we got this one. And in mid-game, so what we want to do mid-game wise is a lot of that has to do with storytelling, and this actually fits for this. We've all heard of the term qualification, right? Qualification just means to assert yourself and see if somebody accepts it, all right? That's it, all right? It doesn't mean that you need to get somebody compliant with it. If somebody's compliant with it, that's great. You know, if you're like escalating on somebody, you know, and you're making the moves and she's like escalating back and grabs your dick, you're like, hey, that's good. But if you're escalating on her and she's still there in front of you, that's her accepting it, so she's not compliant. So what we want to do is we want to fit this in a template of qualification. And what this is going to do is show you, I'm going to give a couple demos of how to customize this stuff. So you could be talking to somebody. First off, if you're in a level of comfort, tactically you should be isolated. You should be somewhere where they're just in front of you and you're just talking to them. Her friends can be around, or you could be like, you know, in some cave somewhere or whatever. I don't know what your deal is. But cave would be good, and we have separate techniques for that. Man, you guys are slow crowd. Always at the 21 convention. So anyway, what we want to do is we want to say, hey, you know, this is really weird. I've had like a good time talking to you, but you know, at the same time, I'm a really social guy, but at the same time, I can be totally awkward. All right, so we're going to bring it up in the first sentence. And in that first sentence, we're going to show a little bit of intent, right? We're going to say, hey, you know what? You're a cool chick, I really like you, and I'm really social, but I'm also really awkward. And that's like kind of a weird dynamic. Because at the same time, a lot of people see me from my social side, but they don't want to see the inside of me or the stuff which really makes me work. And I think women are kind of that way. But you know what? Here's the thing. Women are so all over the place, like I never get it. Like, how the hell do women view men? So what was your first impression of me? So you're going to qualify, ask based on that, and then you're going to go into, she probably won't be able to give you a thorough answer. She'll say like, oh, you're tall, because dude, you motherfucking are tall. This guy's like 6'11" or some shit. But but anyway, so you can say, so what was your first impression of me? And she'll say, oh, you were funny or you were tall. And you go, nah, man, see, that's not what I mean. See, what I value with myself is like how people really see me. Not just the social side of me, but also that reputation that I build. Not just the social reputation, but that side of me that's entirely there. Because when you can look at my awkward side, and when you can look at my social side and have fun with that, then you can have the complete me. And then you can slip into all this sort of stuff. Like, for instance, we're talking right now, but dude, I don't want to be talking to the false you. I don't want to be talking to the you that's afraid. And I'm not saying anything here, but if we were getting physical, if we were making out, if we were, engaging in some sort of physical thing, I wouldn't want to be engaging with the fear. I wouldn't want to be engaging with the facade. I wouldn't want to be engaging with any sort of nervousness or your reactions. So let me ask you now, what was your first impression of me? All right? So what's happening there, and for you guys who came to Layer Talk, and I'll write this down in a second, there's a process which is happening. You guys probably just thought those were words, and Steve was saying some like crazy shit, which is true. But I'm actually qualifying, I'm grounding, I'm qualifying again, and then I'm fitting a definition to it, or framing it. All right, who else? Who else wants something? Thank you. You're welcome, you're welcome. Venezuela.
Just on the part of how to make women squirt, how would you open it?
Okay, so let's say in comfort, and it is an opener, is attraction, or in comfort? Or seduction. Seduction, we have to get like, well, like, Erica, you're the only one, sorry.
Just an
Not
opener.
breast milk, the vagina squirt, right? Okay, but yeah.
Opening.
Opening, okay, so if you wanted to open with something like that, if you want to open and be sexual, check this out. All right. When people hear a lot of my stuff in field, I'll like say all sorts of sexually funny stuff. That's not sexual, all right? That's like being sexual and being funny. But sexual is actually like connecting and interacting, and hopefully we'll have time to talk about that. But in fact, let's just fucking put that in an opener, all right? So Mr. Venezuela walks up to the women, and he says, in bar, club, daytime, what?
Daytime.
Daytime, all right. And all you motherfucking goddamn queer bitches, look, I love homosexual people because they have more balls than puas, right? And they will talk about sex instantly, right? And you can learn something from them, probably a lot. Probably how to make a woman squirt, which doesn't make sense, but they got answers that, but whatever. The thing is they will always talk about sex. And everybody who thinks you can't talk to a woman about sex in the daytime, you are a fool. You are a fool, and you do not understand, well, you will learn to understand women. How about that? But if you went up to a woman and you said, hey, look, and you could even use me as an example. You could say, hey, look, I went to this conference, and there was like these guys talking about stuff, and they're talking about women, and I really want to know this, because there's a difference between sex and sexuality. You know what I mean? All right, and they will know what you mean. I dare you to ask, but I say it all the time. I'll say there's a difference between sex and sexuality. You know what I mean, right? And so check this out. You know how like, man, you're gonna get totally embarrassed or whatever, but like, you're an open-minded girl, right? Right? And they'll say yes. Ah, you're judgmental, I can't tell you. And then they'll say yes. No, I'm open-minded, tell me. All right, you know how like guys, you know how guys are like all alpha and stuff, and they're always acting like they're cool, and they're always like, talking about their dicks, but they're really insecure about their dicks. And like, the thing is that guys don't realize is that women think the same stuff about sex. And that parlays right into sex and sexuality, right? Because women define themselves by how they're portrayed sexually, as like an object or whatever, or like Lady Gaga or something on TV. But at the same time, like, to truly know what a good sexual experience is, like, would you be comfortable enough to say that? I know you're a total stranger. Do you know what that is? Because, like, to me, a good sexual experience is, they always say, like, for instance, every woman can, like, squirt or some shit, which I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But, like, have you ever been comfortable enough to let yourself go in front of a man in that way? And I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you this. If you come out and field with me, but, that's kind of limited at this point. But if you come out, you will see me talk about this shit endlessly with women. But that's kind of an elongated opener, but nonetheless. And you could even say this. You could say, you know what? I'm really curious about something because these guys were talking about women and sex and all this sort of stuff. But they were talking and this could be right in the beginning, they were talking, and don't get all embarrassed, they were talking about women squirting. Is that like a myth or is that real? Because what I think it is that's where guys mix up sex and sexuality. Sex to guys is like the act, right? And it's not the emotion, and it's not all the other stuff behind it. But I think to be sexual, like any woman could squirt or feel comfortable enough to do that. Do you think that? And she'll get afraid. She'll get like, why are you asking me? This is so weird. But if you have like a good enough ability to tease, to qualify, and pretty much just those, you'll be able to get out of it. But the problem is, through the filtration of the pickup community, when I say shit like that, oh, Steve's being sexual, and like I can't tell you how many guys would be like, hey bitch, how's your pussy? Yeah, dude. I'm being like, oh, dude, I saw Steve talk to this girl. In fact, I did a layer talk in Orlando, and I was talking to the waitress, and I left with the waitress, and everybody was like, oh my God. And Steve was talking about like making babies with her, and like how a woman's pussy juice with different ethnicity types is, oh man, I'm gonna fucking, dude, pussy juice. Black woman, Indian woman, I know all about you, woman. And you know, then they get slapped in the face or some shit. But see, the thing is my motive is to connect with them. I'll say that stuff, and I really want to know. And at first, it might be a little bit of a joke, but a lot of times, I'm really fucking serious about it. All right, keep going. One more person, and I'll get into the method of this. How am I doing on time? All right, I'm doing good. Thanks, man. Nobody else. Come on this side. All right. Oh.
Okay, let's say, so social is good. Bad, I'd say lack of experience.
Okay.
Afraid, social reputation. And curious, the women viewing men.
All right, so these are actually...
In the, obviously, like 20-year-old. Yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
20. So.
Okay. So these are actually like really, 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 really big things. And even lack of experience is a big thing. Social, that's great. I diminish the good stuff and the bad stuff. But so check this out. Lack of experience. People think because they have lack of experience, women won't find them attractive. And what you need to do, and all this stuff is, when you start interacting with women, because the experience, right? It's not the fucking doing the routines and the tricks and gaining power and like, dominating these bitches or whatever. It's the experience of talking to the women. That's what's going to change your beliefs, right? That's what's going to change it. And I'll go off on a little bit of a tangent here. There's 3 people that have influenced my life as a seducer, pickup artist, whatever you want to call it. That would be number 1, the California pimp. All right, you may not know about him, but he's a guy who would seduce chicks on camera and all that stuff. Number 2 would be Jason Savage, and number 3, Captain Jack. All those people are motherfucking seducers. There's nothing showy about any of those guys. And I will tell you this, all of those guys do stuff which is really fucking dominant, really great, what all the pickup guys do, right? All of them. They'll be like, you know what, man? Fucking woman's doing that. Jesus Christ, shut up, man. They're always going to be blabbing. They'll say shit like that. That might be chauvinistic, right? But never, never do those guys think, ever, that they do not appreciate women. Their end goal is to appreciate that woman. Straight up, all right? Whereas the pickup guy is like, my end goal is to out-nigger. My end goal is to go into a fucking strip club and get in a neg war with a stripper. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? But that was the method at one point, and maybe still for some people. But lack of experience, man. You know how you're going to get 30 minutes. All right. You know how you're going to get, when I see 3 fingers in a hole, I don't know what the fuck that means, but lack of experience, that's something that fucks with people, How many guys here can relate with that? Oh, man. All right, cool. So that is an awesome thing. Let me tell you, that is attractive to women. That is sexually attractive to women. You bring that, and I would encourage all of you to use this as an opener this weekend in the daytime, because you're all afraid to be all sexual in the daytime, right? Or at nighttime, whatever. But if you actually said, hey, you know what, I've always been like a social person, but I really wanted to ask you. Or let's say you're in a bookstore, right? Let's say you're talking to a waitress. Let's say you're in downtown Orlando. I don't really condone people running down people and passing them and then waiting to say, hey, I wanted to ask you something. But whatever. Go up and talk to somebody if you want to talk to them, if they're attracted to you. And women will like that if you get the right mentality and all that stuff. But I would encourage you to say, hey, excuse, this is a really weird question. It's going to take like 1 minute. But sorry, this may be, is Fuji here? This might be an opinion opener, but whatever. And Fuji's a great guy, amazing speaker. So you can say, hey, you know what? This is a really quick question. It's like 1 minute, but I really want to know this. And I'm kind of like trying to figure this out for myself. I've always been a social person, but not with women. And I want to know, can somebody who has lack of experience with dating people be somebody that is attractive, right? And so she's going to give you, this is what's going to happen, right? She's going to give you some weird answer. She's going to, well, I don't have time. Yeah, I guess. She's going to give an answer which doesn't have much thought, right? So that's your initial qualifier, was that one there, right? And then she gives you some, superficial answer. What can you expect from people? You're not trying to, that's the problem with people in their openers. They're like, I'm going to say this opener, and then it's going to be on. She's going to want to fuck me. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to own the club because I got this opener, right? But she's going to give some form of answer, and then you're going to give a grounding story of what that means based on you, right? Based on you. So you can be proud of yourself, right? These are not routines which are cultivating shame here. So what we're going to say is, we're going to say, see, I never really had a lot of experience with women, but I've always wondered how women view men. And that's the age-old question, because when guys wonder how women view men, they start doing all this crazy shit about their social reputation. They start doing all this stupid stuff and, buying Rogaine and getting a silver shirt and, whatever else. And, we're going to buy a Bentley because, man, that's going to be it, man. That's going to get you ass, right? And so let me ask you again, somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience with women, can that be attractive? I really want to know. And then she may think about it. She may not even answer, but she thinks about it because she's invested in your story and she's starting to think about it. And then all you have to do is put a definition on that, which could be like, dude, you're an awesome person. I want to talk to you more. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something about yourself. And we're going to cycle the qualification pattern. So let's get into this, huh? Let's get into the pattern that makes this all work, which hopefully you guys will be a little bit more interactive on. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll go back to the black marker. We're going to do something quite simple here. We're going to do qualify. We're going to do grounds. We're going to qualify. And then we're going to do frame or define, right? Now, quite simple. Qualification, some way to assert yourself. You can ask a question. You can step closer to somebody. You can grab them, yank them around, do all this crazy body language stuff. You can do, whatever. You assert yourself. You assert yourself. You see if they accept it. Then you ground yourself. Grounding means this. It means, well, hey, we'll say assert and accept. All right, grounding means that you either give your story, you give someone else's story, and you can give your perspective. This is the same. Frame and define just means you define the situation. And let me tell you, there's no magic to this unless you go for connection. This will get you shit if you are not going with the intent of connection. So, all I'm doing with all that stuff, you guys get the get up. What's a negative thing that you guys want to know about? What's a belief that you guys are worried about? Man, everybody's like fucking stale urine. Jesus Christ. You know what that does with mosquitoes? All right. Nobody. Jared.
5-foot Asians.
What about 5-foot Asians?
Being attractive to women. There you go. Fuji was talking about it. Go for it.
Man, that sounds like what? 5-foot Asians? Being 5-foot Asian and not being attractive?
Yes, he brought that up. It's a stereotype. Go for it.
All right. So if you want to do that, I'm going to blow through this one quick because I want to get to something with a little bit more depth, But if you were to actually say, hey, what's the deal? Do you think height like is an attractive thing? And women will say yes. Or you could say, what is attractive? What is attractive when you go in? And I do this when I open all the time. You say, what is attractive? And here's actually what they'll say. They'll say humor. They'll say good teeth, height, smile, positive energy, all that sort of shit. All right, and then I'm going to go into my story. Actually, I'll go to someone else's story. And I'll say, you know what, see, because my friend Darren, he's 5'4", correction, right? And with the mohawk, all this other stuff. He's 5'4", he's an Asian dude, and everybody says that is such an unattractive thing. But the problem is, with like today's society and all that sort of stuff, is that we have a checklist of things. Like you probably have a checklist of all the things you're attracted to, right? But at the same time, what you actually connect with and what you actually cultivate attraction with, because the connection and chemistry with people, it has nothing to do with those things. Like, yes, no, maybe so, and she kind of flails around wondering. So I'm gonna say, so let me ask you, what do you find is like really attractive about somebody? Really, what are they attractive about? And if they give me a shit answer, then I walk away because truly, well, I'll get into the crux qualification in a second. But if they give me an answer that I somewhat like, that may even be them thinking about it, going like, man, that's a good question. Like, I think I know what you're talking about, but I'll say, you know what? That's awesome. We should talk more. You are totally a girl that has, you know, whatever sort of quality I notice or want to feel about her more. All right, so that would be that process there. What else?
Would one be like if you're not like buff or like you're a skinny guy?
All right, so we'll save it for the edit. We'll save it. All right, so what he answered actually was, or what he asked was asking if he was not buff, he was not, if he was too skinny, something like that. And what's interesting, here's what's interesting, is this guy is so tall, like all of us short guys who are pickup guys. In fact, me and Jared were like, dude, you're too tall, and we're like puny standing next to you. And like, fuck you, man, just stand somewhere and look cool and you'll get the, don't worry about your techniques, right? So anyway, but he brought that up, but at the same time, you know, being tall could also probably make you feel out of place, can make you feel too skinny, can make you feel that like, man, you're not that guy that's short and compact and like have all the like muscles and is all alpha and whatever. You know, everybody's gonna have a certain insecurity. Hence, all women will also have an insecurity that you can relate with. So, which would be a perfect parlay to your perspective. All right, so if you say, hey, let me ask you something. Do you think, what's your perspective, what's your opinion on skinny guys? All right? Simply as that. We're gonna state the problem or whatever your belief is there. And you say, and she'll give you something like, you know, skinny guys, I don't know, you know, I guess they swim good or something like that. All right? She's not gonna give you the greatest answer. And if she does, that's great. You know, you wanna have that connection. But your ground is gonna be based on, and I would go for this perspective. I would say, you know what? See, some guys always wish they were tall, and I'm a really tall guy, but I was always worried about stuff like being too skinny, not being dominant enough or whatever. But you know what? You're a really like, I don't mean anything crazy about this, but you're like a very attractive girl. And I bet you that you probably think a lot of those things that a lot of girls think are attractive or a lot of guys think are attractive, you don't think of them in the same way. And I bet you probably wish people just didn't see you for those things and they saw you for other things. Just like me, like I'm a really social person and I can be kind of like awkward at times too. I wish people fell in love with that. So let me ask you something. Like, what to you is the most attractive part of somebody? You know, and that could be your second qualifier. You see what I'm saying though? Base it off of you. You base it off of you. You interact with a woman. That's how you change your beliefs. You don't fucking change your beliefs by going out and approaching 1,000 sets, man. You become a bitch to a fucking, I don't know, weird pickup culture doing that shit, right? But when you start actually shaping your beliefs by your interactions with women and experiences with women, that changes things. Now, what's interesting there, I'm gonna erase the connection part here, right? What's interesting here is I want to define something a little. Everybody's always talking about being sexual and all that shit. Here's the thing. To turn something sexual, all you need to do is have interest and show intent. And then that needs to go into choice. And so what I started to do with this dude's last thing was I showed some interest, showed some intent. Hey, you're a hot chick. You know, you're a good-looking girl, but But, it's not about that. Here's a little bit more about me. I'm awkward. I'm social. I wish people noticed these other things. I bet you wished you were noticed for these other things too. But hey, what do you think about that? It's giving a choice, all right? Everybody thinks that pickup is about control, right? It's about how do I master the fucking stage of all that stuff. The difference between pickup and seduction is this, is that in seduction, somebody will show intent, they will show their purpose, show what they want, right? And we have to gain some finesse at doing that. We can't just go hey, this is right here, you want this? You want, yeah. Or, maybe somebody could be a little bit more creative than me and come up with something good. But and I would pay money for that. I'm just putting that out there. Next marketing thing, whip out your dick and women will want it. Learn how. Sign up for my email list. You get 7 free videos with this. But to be sexual, all that is. So what's a moment last night or in some recent time, let's go with this side of the room, in some recent time where you guys had an interaction with a woman and it flattened out? No, it didn't happen, man. You guys all either didn't go out or you were just immaculate with women. All right. DC.
One time recently, it started out really slow. I wasn't keynoing. It was just a lot of distance, and the conversation just went nowhere.
Okay. And
stalled out that way.
And I want to say there's not magic tricks to everything. You can get better at it. But when things are fading out, when things are starting to slow down, when a girl actually denies you, your job is not to do some sort of trick. It's to learn how to show yourself more. It's to learn how to do that. And the key to that is, and like you said, you weren't keynoing, you weren't touching, right? Well, touching is a way of showing interest. But there's a way of showing intent through touching, which you can watch my body language videos. My friend Jeff was saying he wanted me to demo some of the stuff on stage, which maybe if we have time. But, oh yeah? Hold on, guys. Put the microphone to the phone, no. But what we want to do is we want to show intent and have the choice. If you did one thing that would help you, it may not work 100% in this situation, but if you were talking to her and things were fizzling out, and you said, you know what, dude, you're an awesome chick. I barely know you're making me kind of nervous and all this sort of stuff, but fuck, man. If I said you were hot, would you be cool with that? And what's happening there, think about this. Yeah, that can be a line and you can practice it, all right? That shit, it works, man, it works. But the reason why it works is because there's a choice, right? There's an option for her to take. If you say dude, you know what? There was that line, if you're learning to SNL, you can be well, we could have sex, but we, maybe not, but I'm gonna try and fuck you anyway, but it's cool. All that was all the pickup guys started doing that, right? They were no man, I'm gonna try and fuck you, I'm so gonna, but it's cool, The reason why that works is because it's offering a choice. And if you talk to anybody that is good with women, and if you see them interact, it's not they're being all alpha and fucking owning the room and all that shit and sitting a certain way and all this crazy stuff. It is, I guarantee you that one of the characteristics is because he can go you know what, you're hot, but it's cool, I can talk to you. God, man, if I just had one chance, if you let me have an opportunity, oh, but whatever, man, I'm gonna sit here and listen to your stuff and da-da-da. You can come to my house and I may try and do something, but it's all you because I want to experience you. I want to experience. And every girl, if you look at what triggers LMR, what Orleans was talking about, it's what other people think of them, man. It's judgment. It's how people view them. It's fear of, there's some safety issues there. Whoops. Watch this. There's some safety issues there. There's all these, there's actually not all these, few specific things that keep women from allowing themselves to be sexual and feel sexual with you. And so when you can actually put that in part of your ways to communicate with them, you can have a sexual experience with them. Or you can be, a cold-hearted dude and just fuck them. Sometimes people need to do that. All right, so people still want to go through this stuff? You guys don't seem too hip and keen on the customization stuff, huh? Only a little bit? All right, let's go to some body language stuff. But for body language, Erica, you want to do this? Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. I like you're tough. Jeez, man. I hope you're tough enough. I hope I'm tough enough. Jeez. Got any sanitizer back there? Gonna need to shower after this. I always like Erica's dress because where's this from?
What do you mean?
Is this from like a stripper store? Or?
No.
All right, so check this out. When you get, all right, I'm doing this workshop. It's this total immersion thing. It means we're all in field and all that stuff. When we actually went out last night, just because one of the guys has to leave Sunday, so we got an extra day. It was really fucking badass thing. But the one thing that I was telling these guys to do was I want to see how you can be sexual. And how we're going to be sexual in the first whatever moment we have to be, because the more we're not, there's all sorts of weird theory in it, but look, it's already sexual. It already is. When we're doing all these tricks and we're trying to fit into the peer group, we're getting in the way of that sexuality. And the ways we're going to do that is through body language, all right? And so it's good for you guys to see, and we'll see if she...
I can already feel it. So he doesn't even have to...
I'm not even fucking doing anything, but that's a compliment, right?
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, give her the microphone, She's always got to have something phallic in her hand, come on. But it doesn't just shoot anything out white. But we can change that, right? Where's Greg when we need him? Okay, so, but check this out. She's gonna, there he is. Greg, can you fluff yourself for a little bit? I'll call you up when necessary. But, so check it out. Being spaced in a certain way, or certain angles and certain spatial relevance, distance that we have between somebody is going to convey sexuality, all right? Now, so check this out. Erica has a center line. Did you drink or something, man? You're like fucking...
No, I'm just super relaxed.
All right, okay, so, but she has a center line. And when we get into a center line, like if I go face to face, it's gonna be kind of so-so with her. It's gonna be like a little bit too intense if I'm talking to her. Now, if you guys see, I know you're gonna look at my ass and not her, but if I'm here, and this is center line, right? So it's like I'm face to face with her. You can only kind of get so close. I don't know what the distance is, but 3 dicks lengths, or if you're libido, 1 penis length. And if you're Erica, the lips compensate for some distance too, but anyway. High five, just joking. No, but anyway, so check this out. See, she keeps going away, man. The STDs aren't in activation right now, you're safe. But what we want to do is we want to get off the center line. And so what I always tell guys is collarbone to collarbone. So I have my left collarbone, right? And this is her left collarbone. And so I'm going to go there. And it's almost like this kind of like kissing angle. If I do that, I can get closer, all right? And there's 3 planes. There's this plane where I'm coming in and out, right? This isn't the Dan Rose sex god method. This is plane 1, in and out. There's plane 2, which is going from side to side when we're moving this way. Swear to God, this is not. Dan's gonna sue me now. All right, and then there's the angles that we're at. And these are things which are gonna convey feelings which we don't think about, but we feel, right? And you're gonna think they're weird, but we do feel them. All right, and so when we're talking to somebody, and nighttime opener, give me one.
Why does Florida have so many palm trees? That's awesome.
Hey, so I gotta ask you, why does Florida have so many palm trees? Right, and so I'm this close, right? You see that? All right? And it gets, I didn't put the awesome part, but if you do that, that's when the fucking, I didn't want it to rain on stage here. But not in the stripper way. But if I'm here, right? If I'm here, dude, come on, man. Be like, you can call me on stage when you're doing your, what are you doing? The squirting thing.
I'll talk to you afterwards.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, so check this out. So if I'm here, this is much different, right? And there's a feeling that happens here, right? And if I'm here, if I'm angled here, it can have like a different feeling, right? All right, so this is just your space, right, of how you're going to communicate sexually. So I got 2 guys who are on my workshop. They're kind of tall and thin and have this lanky vibe to them, so their sexuality is always a low energy. You see me doing all this high energy stuff, but theirs is kind of like how they would approach and say like, hey, so why are there so many palm trees in like Florida? And they'd be mellow and they'd have this stance and they'd have this kind of like good feeling to it, right? It wouldn't be too pushy, it would be mellow, more soft spoken, and that would be their sexual vibe. When you talk to Savage is like that and when he talks. Ultimate seducer, man. But if I do it, I'm a little bit more like blah, 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 right? And so I angle out. And I go, no, you're going to talk to me. And it's always a little bit of a secret, right? And if you could see, we're going to switch sides. If you could see my face, I'm angling out, so it's more here. But I'm going towards like the left boob, right? If we talking woman geographics, so I'm crossing it over here, but it's a little bit more like secretive. It's like, hey, dude, so what the fuck, man? So it would always have that sort of feeling. It doesn't really matter what I'm saying, Florida, palm trees, I'm holding back on the awesome, but it's the feeling that communicates. Now the next thing is, so when we approach, we want to do that. I also have a guy in my workshop, it's a little bit bigger, he's got a big presence, all right? He's got like some alpha shit. So if he starts going like, hey, yeah, so what about Florida? It's gonna intimidate the fuck out of women, and actually she said that, right? This girl's like, dude, you're all over me, you're all over me, you're all over me. Really, she wanted that, but we'll talk about that later tonight. But, so he has a bigger presence. So I said, when he comes in, like guys who have a little bit of a bigger vibe to them, or might have some more intensity, whatever it is, they need to add a little bit of a soft side, a little bit of vulnerability, because quite frankly, that dominance is good. It's a sexual threat, but that sexual threat needs to have, some sort of passiveness to it. So he comes up, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you. Oh man, geez, why are you doing that to me? Why are you making? That's the moment where his sexuality conveys. Now you may not see it with me, because I don't have the same moxie as this motherfucker, but he comes up and the girls are like, whoa, and it's 1 second, it's like, hey, so why does Florida have cool palms? Oh man, you just da-da-da-da-da, oh, that's cool. That would be the point of sexuality for him. If you guys do stuff like this tonight, I guarantee you, where you get a little bit closer, right, and you feel how these different angles feel, and you feel how these different planes feel, it's going to have an essence of sexuality. Now let's get into some touching stuff, right? So everybody always talks about...
Can I say something before that? Just one.
Well, are we on time, Peter? Are we on time? Yeah? All right.
Okay, so I just want to say that I can feel his sexual vibe no matter what he's doing.
Is it coming from here?
But when he pulls me in and when he made the eye contact, it goes up, it increases. Like I can feel it intensify right here.
Right there. So, but this is interesting. You know what else is interesting? Years ago, I didn't tell you this, Orleans. I didn't tell you this. But I actually saw a speech that he gave. And I got this from CJ a long time ago, but they said this is some body language shit, when you get your bare belly to touch a woman's bare belly, actually the real trick to take things from 0 to 60, sexually is get a woman's hand on your hard dick, and that will fucking make things go crazy. But if you actually get bellies to touch, she's just not gonna, it's gonna be felt, there's no doubt, right? But, so look, that doesn't mean you go like, hey, how are palm trees in Florida, huh? But really what you do is you go, how are palm trees in Florida, right? But see, look at that, man. You'll walk okay.
Careful.
You'll walk okay.
I'm delicate.
You said you were constipated, man. We got Greg later, don't worry. He's gonna pinch hit. But you would actually, if let's say you're dancing or something, or you're doing whatever with a woman, and you guys are talking, if you have any moment, and she brought up a few things which are really, really important. Pull, a slight pull. If you notice, you don't need the thumb, you can have it, but it can just be this, it can just be this, it can just be that, right? And probably here, down, right? That's good enough. You're talking to, oh man, you're awesome to talk to, what the fuck, da-da-da-da. Now, if you notice, when I'm doing this, it's to get her attention. It's dominant. It's not really a super sexual thing. It's just attention. It's dominant. It's like, hey, dude, what are you doing? I called you on stage. Fuck, man, you're embarrassing me. People are going to ask Dream for their money back, or whatever. But if I want to be sexual and say, hey, dude, come here. You notice my tonality changes? I don't know, dude, what are you thinking right now? Dude, don't fucking do that. So that's what's happening, right? And those are actually, what's happening there is, it's just little sexual spikes. It's little bits of arousal. And for a woman, and we can go all into sexuality, but for a woman, sexuality cycles. For a guy, it's like our dick gets hard and we're like, why don't you fuck me? Dude, come on. Dude, no, I just want it. Come on, what, you don't like me? Whatever, we do all that stuff, fucking. So then we learn games, so we don't have to do that stuff. But a woman cycles, and when it cycles really fast, it starts to have this slow boil, and then we're right here, and our dick's out, and they're down here, and then all of a sudden they're like way above, and they're like, why won't you fuck me for 10 hours? What the fuck? My pussy's like a baboon's ass right now. It's fuck, right? See, that's what this is, right? But so when we're talking to women, and we're talking to them, one thing that you can do tonight is a couple things. All this shit, that's like, hey, we're friends, we're cool bros. That's like this RSD, I'm a natural, dude, I'm dominating, man, because I'm better than her. And, Tyler's great. He's one of the reasons why I still teach is that guy. And all this stuff, not really necessary. It's like when we just want to get attention. But when we want to get sexual, I would say lower your tonality. Go, hey, no, but I want to ask you something. I can literally fucking talk about whatever and just dude, pay attention. Now look at me. What the fuck, dude? All that stuff is sexuality, right? All that stuff is communicating it. Now that doesn't mean her pussy's going like, fuck me, and she's gonna go with you to the car and she's gonna open up her asshole and shit out your cum on some other guy's face or something. I got an ebook for that though. I do. But what that means is it's gonna start the cycle of sexuality, right? It's gonna start. You guys all laugh now, but when I ask you for routines, but see, we need a woman on here to belittle. Fuck yeah. Who wants to come? No. All right, so everybody whip your dicks out. We're going to do a bukkake show on her. No. It's good, though, because if you listen to Alexis K. Tyler, the spirituality's in the seed, right? The seed of man. Is it? Anyway, but check this out. When we're touching in these ways, around the hips, around the waist, right? We get our hips to touch in this way. And if we can do that, even, this is kind of awkward being far away, that's going to mean more than this, right? And this has a completely different feeling. I'm like, oh, dude, we're doing whatever. And even if I put on the sexy voice, if I'm like, yeah, we're talking about, da-da-da-da-da, and Lance Armstrong's one testicle. But if I talk about Lance Armstrong's one testicle here, there's a little bit more of a feeling, right? Yeah. Because it's one fucking testicle, right? Right? And now we have another chick in there. Francis Adams is going to do some stuff. But what most people are doing is they're doing all this shit and pulling and grabbing and all that stuff. But when we're just slightly giving that pull, right? And we're not pushing, we're slightly giving that pull. And we're getting to a point where it's more of our stomachs can touch. Crazy shit happens, all right? But check this out. Remember how I said interest, intent, choice? If I'm going like this and I'm going, oh man, da-da-da. Dude, so what the fuck, dude? Oh my God, dude. Jeez. If I'm doing all that shit, I got to stop it because I got to let her have a choice, right? That's key, all right? And what a lot of pickup guys, when it comes to seduction, is we don't allow a choice to happen. We think we're going to keep doing stuff. Even when it comes to LMR, even when it comes to pushing for the clothes and we're going like, oh man, dude, but I just want to fuck, what's your problem? No, I don't judge, man, I don't judge. What the fuck is it? We're going to keep trying. And the key is that choice, it's the compliance. That is what being sexual is. From the opener, to actually going into a physical sexual act has so much to do with a woman's choice. It has so little to do with what I'm putting out there. But if I were to say, you know what, dude, look, you got that dress on and it looks like you're ready to go strip it a clothes. You just need some glass shoes, but but it's cool, we can talk. Giving that choice, with that interest and intent that's what's going to start allowing you to have those sexual experiences. Not those things where we're taking sex. Not when we're worried only about dominating. Not when we're worried about all those things. And even, with whatever it is, the opener to our comfort stories, all that fucking crazy hocus pocus. And then when we start getting all nuts and just going, oh man, dude, look at you, what the fuck? And notice, this is a pull, man. This is not grabbing the hair. I'm actually pulling her to me. If you do this shit, girls will freak out. But if you got a little bit of a finesse, they'll go for it. But if you're like, oh man, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? And you're doing this, if I do not let her have a choice, if I don't let her feel that, if I try and control it, that sex is going to turn into this, and I see it happen all the time. I'll get sexual with a chick. I'll get really sexual with a chick really fast, right from meeting her. And, you got the phlegm going, man. Jeez.
That's really nice.
I know it is. It's going to be like the back of your throat after we fucking it. But, because that's what actually happens. The California pimp taught me that. There's kind of truth to that. But anyway, the thing is if I get somebody sexual and I get somebody to feel sexual and I don't offer a choice, if I don't offer a definition, if I don't make them feel good about it, if I leave them with that, within minutes of me departing from that situation or staying in that situation, that's when it becomes creepy. Like if I start going, no, man, are you confident about, like, I haven't talked to you in a while, but like the hottest part of you is what? Answer it.
Are you asking?
Yes.
My vibe.
Your vibe. So all of your vibe can be felt with like your tits, your pussy, all that stuff, right? And how so? How do guys get sucked into that?
It just radiates.
Really? Is it radiating right now?
Yeah.
So if I keep going, right? If I keep going with that, if I keep pushing it and just let it go, then it's going to turn into judgment. But I got to define that some way, all right? So if I define that and just say, you know what, that's awesome, man. You need to go and fucking make that radiate over all these guys' faces. Or just pick one. Pick one, and at least have him jerk off to you and tell you about it and send you a picture of his cum. That's what I get all my stripper friends to do to their clients. But like that would be good enough for a definition because it doesn't have to sustain, right? It doesn't have to be something which is out there floating wherever. Just like how with the pickup guys, we don't have a definition. So what is it? Our definition is to go out and dominate that set, and that's great. We may need to do that. But if our end goal isn't to be sexual, it isn't to connect, it isn't to enrich and be a part of people, then what the fuck are we doing it for? You know, and I'll say this. You're good. Everybody give Erica a hand, right? Slap those pussy lips together. Come on, woman. Come on. Afterwards, everybody can smell the puddle here on stage for $5. But before I get into that, and I really appreciate her coming up, and I'm always like giving her a hard time and all that stuff. But she says she's a tough girl. She's like 3 condoms on a wart-ridden dick. You know, it's tough. But look, see, one of the things that I love coming to this convention, right, is because it is about working with people. You know, coming up here and talking on stage is one thing. I speak every week. I speak every week at this, at a correctional facility, actually, about like drugs and alcohol and all that stuff. And, you know, I know DJ Fuji gave you the rundown on what a sponsor is, but, you know, whatever. You can talk to me about that. But the thing is I love the interaction between a human. And when I first came to the 21 convention in 2008, that was about 2 years ago, right? And it was July, I think I spoke on the 27th, right? And that moment in my life is a really big moment in my life because that's when there were a lot of things happening. I was getting sued by a company. I'm still getting sued by that company. I was getting thrown under the bus by a whole bunch of other pickup people. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I got really good at pickup. I mean, it is a part of my life, which all that shit that I'm talking shit on, I've been times 10, right? I've been, when it came to you had to fuck chicks in the bathroom of a club, I did it. When it came to having like multiple girlfriends, I did it. When it came to, you know, turning chicks out, you know, I did it. I took things to a crazy level. And the reason why I say that is because I allowed the community to find me. And about like 2 years ago, maybe a little bit around that time, there were people who were actually at that convention this year who helped me in a massive way, people who were attendees. And they taught me a different way of looking at things. They taught me that, and dude, I'm not religious. I'm not any of that shit. But I will say that I do believe in, I was just talking to Jeff about this, there are powers greater than yourself. That could be handcuffs, that could be putting drugs in your body, that could be a mob of people, that could be a bunch of people at a convention talking and interacting about something. You know, and don't forget what that power is. Don't forget that when you're you and you feel alone and you have guilt or shame because of lack of experience, or you think that you've never been with a woman, or you think you have a defect or flaw and you can't talk to somebody, the best way to turn that into a beautiful experience, what I would consider a spiritual experience, is talking to another human being. And every night when I go out, that's what I do. And that's my goal. And don't get me wrong, man, my ego gets fucking involved like a motherfucker. You know, a couple weeks ago, and I'll tell you this, you know, a couple weeks ago, I was talking to my friend Terrence. I called him up on the phone. I said, dude, man, I just screwed this chick in a Whataburger bathroom. And he goes like, oh, fuck, man, how'd you do that shit? And I said, well, it just kind of happened, man. I mean, she was down and I was down. I just knew where to take it. It wasn't like some special technique. But I sat there and I told him, I go, man, I fucking hate that shit, though. I hate that shit because I hate those sexual experiences. She liked it because she had never done that, and it was cool. But there's nothing great about the smell of shit unless it's coming out of my body, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? There's nothing great about the smell of shit in this cramped spot and you trying to do whatever and, and, and videotaping it and videotaping the people underneath to make sure it's in a bathroom. No, but there's nothing to me sexual about that because what I value is the connection. And to me, the things that move people, the things that make a difference in life are when we connect and come together. It's not out of a fucking ebook, and it's not just out of a product. It's out of a service. It's out of what people exchange with other people, man. It's what we do here together as men, and if we talk to women, man, it should be a beautiful thing. Sometimes you got to practice. Sometimes you got to practice your techniques, but if it is not about taking that part of you, which can be honest and pure, and sexual and all those great things, and connecting with them and having them feel it, and having them help define that with you, and having the choice to do it, then fuck, man, it ain't worth it. It ain't fucking worth it. And what's gonna happen is you'll go out and get a life, or you'll keep coming back here, and it'll be frustrating and piss you off, and you'll look for the answer and something, and it'll turn into anger and shame. So my whole thing is, look, you guys got to start being proud of yourselves. Start living proud. Start living a life where you can Don't be ashamed. There's the sexual life, motherfuckers. But that's true, man. And what is that? It's about being yourself, man. It's about being able to assert that. So my thing is look, go to theredmole.com, Steve Mayeda, search my shit, sign up on my email list, you'll get good stuff. Go to my YouTube page. There's a ton of videos on there. There's all great things. And there's one last thing I'm going to say. Is rather than sell the one last slot on my workshop, like how I slipped that in there, kind of, sort of. But tomorrow night, there's a dinner from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'm going to be at part of that dinner, and we're doing it because we need to raise money for Anthony. It's not going to me. It's $50 to go to that dinner. It's for the 21 convention. It's for Anthony. I get none of this. It's my break time in between my workshop, which is like from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. every night. I'm going to be there from 8 to 9:30, and I'll be talking to you guys and working with you. And the best thing you can do for me is, the best thing you can do for yourself, for me, and the whole thing is shake my hand and talk to me. It ain't on the stage. That's not where we come up with these solutions, man. It's when we look face to face, and hopefully there will be other instructors there working with you. But look, we need to raise some extra cash. We need to do that to make this convention the best thing in the world. He puts his whole fucking life into this thing. That's why when he's talking about all his crazy ideas, I'm just like, okay. Because he's fucking passionate, man, and he believes in something. But let's be there. It's at 8 p.m. I don't know what restaurant it's going to be at. Talk to him about it. Urban Flats. Ratis will be there. Hopefully some other instructor. Orleans will be there. Fuji will be there. And look, these are all service-oriented people, man. Look, all of us got workshops for sale, all that bullshit. But look, let's connect, and let's actually make this thing a good thing. There's a few people that walk out of this room and thinking that it's an all right experience, and there's people, that come back and say, dude, this thing changed my life. There's a guy in Afghanistan who still emails me all about that, about the weekend he spent here. So let's make that happen. Anyway, thanks a lot, and talk to me afterwards, all right?